Guys, I went on my first date of the year. I was very excited for this date. Beautiful girl, okay? Sitting across, I couldn't believe she was there. I wanted to compliment my date as we left the restaurant. So then we left, and I was looking at her, I was like, your forehead and chin look really beautiful under the orange glow of the street lamps. And she said, are you gonna kill me? Okay, you're gonna kill me. Alright, cool. And I try to explain to her, I don't think I'm by strength to kill anyone, alright? Which is not what you should lead in with, because make it sound like you would kill her if you could kill her, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, I wish my hands were stronger. That's not gonna bring anybody home with you, alright? Like, I'm actually very blessed to be here, I'm very lucky to be here. I am in Chicago, but I'm originally from Louisiana. And a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm a Katrina survivor. It's kind of hard for me to talk about. I wasn't in the hurricane. I dated a girl named Katrina. She was a terrible person, alright? She almost ruined my entire life. No, let me tell you about her, okay? Busted through my window, put a hose in my window, turned the hose on, crazy ass, alright? Turned the hose on, flooded my whole apartment. So when my other friends in New Orleans were like, Katrina's destroyed my home, destroyed my life, I was like, you too? You too. Because she's out of control, she needs to be put down, okay? Alright? I don't know if I look like someone that has been broken up with via text message, but I have, alright? I was sitting on a toilet the other day, got a breakup text that said, I don't love you, I don't think I ever loved you, I don't think I can ever love you, we're done, I don't want to be with you anymore. And that messed up my whole day, because not only do I not have a girlfriend, but a complete stranger just broke up with me. That was a wrong number, alright? So now I text her back, baby, we can make this work, alright? Like, let's meet up, alright? I love you, maybe. You know? I've always wanted to be good at sports ever since I was little. I want to be really good at sports, impress my friends. But I am such a theater bitch that one time I was talking about football and forgot the word quarterback. And so I was like, oh, he plays the lead. He's not one of the understudies on the bench. He's the star. He's the best one. The first time I threw a football, everyone knew I didn't have a dad, all right? That's why I stand for athletic ability, okay? I'm not actually killing it, all right? I only played football once. It was in Little League. I was 10 years old, okay? And so they made me a lineman, which jerk move. Wow, okay? Always been frail, ever since I was a baby, all right? Made me a lineman. I didn't know the rules of football, so I didn't know that everybody got hit no matter what, okay? I thought just to have the ball, that meant I was safe. Why not, okay? I'm not the one trying to win sports right now. They made me a lineman. This is not the part that I want. This isn't the part that I auditioned for, okay? I would love the role of team manager or something backstage. I missed a week full of rehearsals. I really don't even know how to play this game. And of course, the kid across from me is the nigga from the Green Mile, so he's the biggest black person that I've ever seen in my whole life, all right? So then they blow the whistle, and he hit me so goddamn hard that there was a divot in the ground. My shoulder went in. I got up. I didn't even tell anybody that I quit. I started walking off the field. I started walking off, took off my football costume, because that's what I called it. Started walking off the field. I was done. I didn't want to play anymore, okay? I didn't want to play anymore at all. But then the director runs up and starts giving me a speech about being a quitter. I was like, obviously you didn't see what just happened, all right? I might be 10 on my right side for the rest of my life. I don't know how growing up works, okay? Then they make this big kid come up and apologize to me, which he shouldn't have to do. It's not his fault. I should be auditioning for Othello or something. And so then he walks me out, I'll never forget his voice. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wow, that's interesting. We're all 10 here, sir. Why the fuck are you 32? I didn't even make it to intermission. There was no way I was getting through 4 acts of that game, you know? Like I don't have it together like that. I got invited to a party, which if you know me, that's a surprise, all right? I'm a bit of a bummer in person, okay? So I got invited to this party, didn't know there'd be hard drugs at this party. I don't really care about hard drugs, all right? That's not my, live your life, do whatever you want to do, okay? But someone offered me heroin. Right? Like, this thing. Everybody understands weed. A lot of people do like cocaine, but no one doing heroin has a 5-year plan, all right? That's no one you need to be associating yourself with. If you do heroin, you either play the guitar really well or you just got a lot of feelings. I don't know what to say about you. So he offered me the heroin, and I didn't want to not seem cool, but I didn't want to take the heroin, okay? And so he passed it to me in the needle, and I was like, oh, no thanks, I am stuffed. I could not have any more heroin today. I am tapped out. Oh my God. I'm not joking. I am from Louisiana, and like I'm from the center of Louisiana. I'm from a part of Louisiana where I'm walking down the street and people lean out of their Ford F-150 and they're like, "Nagger!" And I'm like, that is not how you say it. That's not how you say it. So when you're teaching us now why in that word, doing racism wrong, sir, all right? I shouldn't have to teach you. That's counterproductive, okay? It's embarrassing. If you're looking up at me and you're like, this guy's been mugged, you be right. I have been mugged. I'm very muggable, okay? And this thing, I don't know if other guys in the room do this. Help me out if you do. If a guy's coming towards you and he looks threatening, do you think in your head how you're going to have to take him? Like, does that cross your mind? Okay, thank you. Somebody said something, all right? Leaving me hanging. This is the thing. Saw a guy coming towards me, look threatening, and in my head, the way I can fight in my head is astounding, all right? The way I fight in real life, not so much, okay? So this guy coming towards me, looked threatening, I was like, oh. Looks like we're going to have to Jason Bourne this. I'm going to jump in the air, do 3 flips. I don't want to do 3, but we need to do what needs to be done, okay? Bring my knee down on his face, crack his skull, punch him in the face so he's incapacitated. That was my plan, all right? His plan was, I'm going to punch this guy in the face and take his wallet, all right? We met up. He had a much better plan than I did. His plan was on fire, execution, everything, okay? Some of you guys don't know about me. If you punch me hard enough in the face, I pee. So we meet up, he punched me in the face, I hit the ground, start peeing around Q, I don't disappoint, okay? So now he's trying to fit his huge muscular hand into my pocket to take my wallet, but his hand gets stuck because my pants fit. Go figure, I know, all right? But now his hand is stuck around my pants, but he can see the pee stain getting bigger on my pants, so he's like, ah, 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 ah. He's lifting me off the ground at this point, I weigh 125. And he leaves. Guys, who needs karate? Am I right? Am I right there? Like, I'll leave you guys with this. Let me just wrap it up. I'll leave you guys with this. I'll finish with this. This is important. This is important. I recently, before I came here, got the cops called on me. All right? I got the cops called on me because my neighbor thought that I was killing my girlfriend. So when the cops got there, I had to explain to the police, not only do I not have a girlfriend, but it's just me in here.
I have loved the security at almost every job that I've had because, especially in New York, security, like you said, they're just trying to get through their day. So they really don't even step in unless you are actively being stabbed.
God, no.
Right? And even then, they're trying to sneak up on the person because they don't get adequately equipped to handle what's happening.
No.
Right?
Not at all. They want to get through their day, have to write a few things down that they're supposed to write down, and then leave.
And so
they don't have these Paul Blart dreams.
Yeah, like this is my thing. Okay, one of my favorites was when I was in Chicago, and remember I worked at the other grocery store, right? When I worked there was this one time. This shouldn't be as funny to me as it is. So
that could be the name of this fucking show.
Yeah, listeners, forgive me now. But there was a guy that was in the store wilding, right? Like truly wilding out. And as this dude was freaking out, somebody started screaming, like one of the customers started screaming, "Hey, go do something," because this dude is like, I don't even know how to describe it. He was truly just like freaking out. He wasn't even stealing because he was still in the store.
Right.
It's not stealing till you leave. And basically he starts like popping off, screaming at people, running around, everything, right? And the security, that the company that we worked with was a company that clearly must have just had some overall contract, because at every store it was the same uniform, right? And
well, they were a costume shop that had to pivot.
Yeah, there we go. Because
no one's renting our uniforms anymore.
Everybody that they sent except for everybody that they sent except for one guy couldn't fight and looked like they couldn't fight, right? And so there was this woman who was clearly like in her 60s, and she was a little frail as well. And she was
Working security?
working security
Oh.
for the grocery store, right? And so
I'm not saying that 6-year-old women aren't strong, but they shouldn't have to do that.
they shouldn't have to be strong.
They
okay.
shouldn't have to be strong for security.
For security. Come on.
Yeah.
So then basically this dude's wilding out, and then and then it got to a point where customers were yelling at us and the security like, hey, do something. Like because it's like this person is clearly they're not even like having necessarily a violent outburst, but they are running around and screaming and like swinging. So they're not trying to hit anyone, but they're just like, they're not with us right now, right?
Yeah,
is the best way to put
it. They're fighting a war in Narnia.
Yeah. And so
they're not here.
And so then everyone was screaming for, this person to do something, right? And so she like that's the moment. And it's funny because every single one of these guards that I worked with had a moment where I made eye contact with them and could tell they didn't want to be security anymore. Like, dude, straight up, like everyone I'm about to describe to you, even the dude that could fight, I'm telling you right now, I've looked in their eyes while the thing was happening. And then when we made eye contact, they were like, I could have been doing anything else right now. And so then I
should have stuck to painting.
So then she gets off of, I think she might have been sitting on the counter or something, and then she's like goes to run to, I guess, do something about this, right? And I don't even know, like, I don't even know if they gave them anything. I don't think they had anything. I don't think they had pepper spray. They may have had a flashlight. Like, I really don't think they had anything on them to like.
I think they usually just give them a walkie-talkie. I think is usually what.
And so she goes to run, and as she goes to run, she steps on her own shoelaces, right? And so she stepped on her own shoelace. She fell, and she fell sideways, and so I know she hurt her hip, right?
Of course.
And so now we're at a stalemate because it's like you as an employee aren't supposed to do anything. That's why they hired the security, And in certain situations, especially if it calls for violence, you could get fired even if you were in the right.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now I'm really between a rock and a hard place because any minute, this dude's gonna be over here. And in my head, I'm like, I know he's gonna come to my register, right? I had already played out the scenario in my head. This dude was going to come to my register and he was going to slap me in my face. Right?
You're the magnet for this stuff. Of course.
And so I'm like,
it's going to happen.
And so I'm like, oh no, I'm really going to get hurt. Like, bro, I was really sitting there like, man, this is gonna like he probably gonna rear back too. Like,
yeah, that is pretty demeaning to be sitting behind a cash register just thinking I'm about to get my ass kicked.
And the worst part is I knew this dude was too out of it to actually rob me. You know what I mean? Like,
right, yeah.
Like I'm rigging people up as well because people are running to the register, clearly just trying to get out as fast as they can. So I'm rigging people up fast. Like, I was already a fast cashier. Yeah. But I'm going extra fast. Like, I'm not even sure if everything's scanned. I'm just sliding stuff over. And so, because also in my head, I was like, if we can get everybody out of the store, this problem might like solve itself. I don't know why I thought that, but I just thought like, okay, this person is clearly lashing out around a bunch of people, but if there's not a bunch of people, maybe he'll calm down or something, right?
Yeah.
So I'm bringing people up as fast as I can. And then there's even, once again, like I said, shouldn't be as funny to me as it is, but she's still on the ground. So no one's actually like helped her up yet. And then there's a guy who walks in, just a regular customer, walks in, sees her on the ground, sees us like ringing people up as fast as we can. And then I like look over my shoulder at him and he just turned around and walked out.
Oh, yeah, because that looks like a robbery.
Yeah. It's 18 people that only want to rob for food.
Yep.
They knock down the security guard and they're paying with credit.
Yeah, a weirdly violent but also cordial mob.
Yeah.
Is coming through here.
And so I'm scanning as fast as I can, and then and this dude, I can hear him getting closer, and I don't know what aisle he's on, right? Like, I don't know if he's 2 aisles down and he's really loud, or if he's 1 aisle down and less loud. But like, I can't see him, but I can hear him. And so, did I already tell you about this, by the way?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember this one.
And so then I'm like, I look over. That's how I know she's still on the ground. Because at first I thought I heard her fall, but I was too scared to like look behind me. I just started ringing people up fast, like. And then I turn my head and I see that she's falling, and she's like, she says, "Help me," and I'm like, "Oh no, we're doomed! Like we're actually doomed right now."
That's your security. Your security fell down and she can't get up.
And so then I'm ringing people up. I finish a transaction and I'm like looking at the customer, I'm looking at her, and then I jump up and I like help her up, and it's like definitely nothing heroic. I'm literally just helping her get back to her feet. I'm not like picking her up or anything. And
you're helping her up to throw her to the lions too.
Hey, you got to do what you do to live, you know?
You got the badge, lady. That's on you.
And so then I run back over to the register. There's only one more customer. I close my gate as if that's going to do anything. Like, you know,
like he'll get there and be like, "Oh, okay."
You know the little gate they give you at the register?
Yeah.
So I close my little gate. And I put the closed divider on.
And then if I stand real still, he won't see me.
Yeah. If nothing beeps, he won't move, right? And now I can hear a couple things falling, so I know he's getting close, right? And then this dude finally gets to the registers in general. Luckily, doesn't come near mine at all. Runs like knocks a bunch of people out of the way to run past them as they're checking out. Mm-hmm. Runs past the security guard. Does a cartwheel and is out.
Hold on. Okay, sorry. Did you say he did a cartwheel and then he left?
Yeah, this dude did a cart. So he was already pushing people out of the way to run out of the store, and then he did a cartwheel and then he left.
Like my brain needed a second. Because honestly, once you said cartwheel, the whole sentence like fell apart in my brain. I'm like, there's no way he said he did a cartwheel and left.
Dude, bro, when I tell you that this lady busted her hip for nothing.
Well, sounds like she didn't stand a chance anyway. He was going to be flipping around her or something.
Yeah.
This man is trained.
This dude did like a truly insane cartwheel.
Yeah.
And by the way, when he was like running past us screaming, he was not making sense.
No.
Like he was like hobble, whatever, right? But then
cartwheel is a powerful exit.
Yeah.
Because it not only does it take some skill and athleticism, but it's so counter to what he was doing.
I mean, is it though? He was running around apparently swinging his arms.
But to see all that and then to see him do a cartwheel on the way out would just make me go like, huh. Like it goes from like, oh no, what's gonna happen, to be like, well, now that was interesting. It's a weird reset, kind of.
Yeah. It
erases some of the crazy from before.
Yeah.
And that's the power of gymnastics, everybody.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really supports the channel. Hit the bell notification because apparently it's the only way YouTube will tell you that something happened. And just tell a friend. That's the biggest thing you could do. Just tell one person in your life that you like, maybe you don't like, that this video happened to you.
We release the podcast every Thursday on all the podcast apps, so you should find us there and subscribe on those and comment and leave reviews and whatever on all of them. And also, if you want bonus stuff, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We have bonus podcasts and videos and stuff there, and we'd love to see you.
Okay, are you guys ready for your headliner for the night? You know him and love him from The Daily Show, so put your hands together for Josh Johnson!
I've been trying to listen to more music because I think that obviously it's important to read, it's important to talk to people, but I think music has a special place where you can learn something. Sometimes there's something that you can get from music that you just cannot get anywhere else. It doesn't hit the same through spoken word, doesn't hit the same way through prose, through reading it, because I think whether it's melody or it's rhythm, there's something that you open yourself up to when there's music that you wouldn't if there wasn't. Like, it's a hard thing to explain sometimes, but there are little things that are written that stick with me. But then sometimes there's things that are just sung. And maybe it's just because of the way it's sung or something. I like that lyric. Let me think about that more. And then you chew on an idea, right? Music is incredibly powerful. Like, I think about back in Louisiana, I know somebody who, she divorced her husband with a singing telegram. Now, you can already imagine how different it hits to maybe be at a dinner and demand a divorce. I'm sick of this. I'm tired of you. I'm always putting up with the same stuff. I want a divorce. You know what I mean? Your server is like, so, no dessert. Or even if you just write someone a letter, they're sitting at home reading this letter in this unsealed envelope. They're just sitting there reading it like, what? But to have a singing telegram show up, knock on your door, be hitting the music, little stereo, standing there. Beat starts, they're just, I am your singing telegram. And then they give you the worst news of your life. Dancing to it, too. She doesn't want to see you anymore. You become a bore. She wants a divorce. And putting his hand out for a tip. Music hits different. I think sometimes one of the most beautiful ways to remember somebody that you lost is through music. Sometimes you'll tell a story or something, and if the story doesn't hold a significance for a person, it just doesn't. They don't capture the thing that you captured when you talked to them or when the story happened. Maybe you had to be there, maybe you had to know the person. But when somebody leaves a song behind, that's like timeless in a way. We lost a very important person. Legendary person. We lost Quincy Jones, right? And if you don't know who Quincy Jones is, just educate yourself. Quincy Jones is not just a legend, an icon of culture, of music, but something deeper, like understood. Quincy understood people, understood music, understood storytelling, right? Quincy was one of the master collaborators. There were people that you love and you love their work and you don't know Quincy's in it. Like that. It's that way with Michael Jackson. Quincy and Michael Jackson had major hits. Michael Jackson owed some of his biggest hits to his collaborations with Quincy Jones because Quincy could help pull out the best parts of the person that he was collaborating with. And there's even stories. There's legendary stories that Quincy Jones has told. More stories than I could ever even attempt to describe. Like, crazy stuff. This man lived one of the most remarkable lives in American history. And there's stories that are so insane that Quincy's like not even in the story, but he's in the story. Like, he's not even a part of the story, but the story came together because of Quincy. As an example, I heard this story. It's a little bit less than a rumor, but a part of me wants it to be true because it's fantastic. Quincy had daughters. Quincy's daughters were, one of them was Khadijah, and at one point Khadijah apparently was dating Tupac, right? And this still blows my mind. So Tupac, through potential collaborations that they were supposed to do, knows Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson obviously knows Quincy Jones from the hits that they made together and everything. But there's this one time when Tupac was leaving somewhere with Khadijah, like, I don't know if it was like a dance club or something like that, but they were having an argument. And you know, one of those arguments that you see where you're like, I don't know, is this bad? This is like, you know, like as a couple when you see them, and maybe it was that whisper fight, and you know that thing that couples do. It's like, I'm just. That's a big one at restaurants, you know. Oh yeah, you ever date somebody that could curse you out with those whispers? They hitting all the F's. Nobody hears, but. And you know, if you passing by, I don't know, is this a bad fight? Who knows? Or maybe they were having a screaming match. It doesn't seem like it because it seemed like kind of one-sided. Like Tupac was very annoyed with Khadijah trying to get her to come along and everything. And we've all been in a situation, if you've just been out, where you've seen a couple argue and you're like, is this bad? Do you know what I mean? Like, you've been in a Walmart parking lot where you were like, is this just how they talk to each other? Or like, should I step in or something? Because this is uncomfortable, you know? And I'm not picking on Walmart. I've been to a Golden Corral and just waiting to be seated, and you're like, all right, they about to eat together? That doesn't seem like a happy occasion. And so, you know, Tupac was saying something tantamount to like, come on, girl, hurry up, come on, right? But they're leaving as Michael Jackson is coming in, and Michael Jackson sees this. And so he approaches Tupac because of the closeness that he has with Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones' daughters are like Tupac's nieces to a certain degree. It's like that with any close friendship, you know? This is your uncle. Well, we're not related, but that's your uncle, right? And he says, hey, is everything okay? I don't like how you're talking to her. You need to chill out. You need to calm down, right? And then Tupac apparently says to Mike, hey, back up, all right? This is none of your business. Be about your way, all right? And then Michael's like, no, you don't understand. This is pretty much my niece. You're not going to talk to her any type of way, especially in public. You need to calm down, right? And then tells him again, you need to back up. You need to back off, right? And then according to the story, Michael Jackson beat Tupac's ass. I know how it sounds. But this is my thing. When I look at Tupac, I look at Michael Jackson, I can't help but wonder if the two of them, in a way, are like the inverse of each other. You know? Because we've seen from footage of this person that Tupac is, right? This incredibly adept poet, this person who pulls the tenderness out of horrific things and expresses that tenderness back through music or just through written word. That type of poet, that person is in some ways a sensitive person, like a sensitive soul. Maybe not soft, maybe not, you know, but there's someone who clearly has a sensitive side that they can access. And I think that a lot of like thug life, a lot of the street stuff, some of that is to sell records. Some of that he was really living. But you can't help but wonder how much of this persona is a persona to sell, to market, and how much of this is actually him. Because what if when no one's around, behind closed doors, when you're just chilling. This guy is a sweetheart, sensitive person. You know, it's what's been said about him through people who knew him. And you look at Michael Jackson. We know Michael Jackson was abused horribly. Joe Jackson beat those kids. And you go through your life like that with abuse, it can harden a person. And maybe behind closed doors, when no one was around, maybe Mike was like a little bit more hardened than we'd like to believe. You know? So imagine that. You're fighting Michael Jackson. It's gotta be upsetting. I can't imagine trying to fight Michael Jackson, the king of pop. I can't imagine him fighting without doing moves for no reason. Imagine trying to fight Michael Jackson and he punch you, but he moving his leg. The leg not involved in the punch. You have the king of pop, right? And you have Tupac. Tupac is on the Everest of hip hop, right? Tupac, for better or for worse, created an entire lane of hip hop that people went down and either created some of the best artistry that I think personally has been known to man musically, and then some people who leaned into the street side a little too much and it just became something destructive. But Tupac is up there. And Tupac is who you would imagine would be beating on anybody, right? I'm not saying Tupac couldn't fight. All I will say is that the one fight that I saw Tupac in is the one that we can all see him in. It's the night that he was fighting with those dudes in Vegas. You know? A bunch of guys. Guys on his side, guys on the other side. Everybody getting beat. I'm not saying Tupac couldn't fight. I'm saying the way that I saw him fighting in that video looked like the way all of us might try to double dutch. Do you know what I mean? Because there was a big cartoonish scuffle, just feet in the air, fists out of the... You know what I mean? Just like, you know, like with those Looney Tunes smoke clouds of fights and everything, and Tupac was outside of it, and you could tell he was trying to find his place. He was like... And now, you're fighting Michael Jackson. Someone so horrifically coordinated. He hitting you and then pop it and lock it. Doing all these extra moves and stuff. Michael Jackson probably the only person in human history that could be beating somebody's ass and sound like he getting beat at the same time. Just, he punching you, kicking you, and then he the one be like, ow! Be mad as hell. You trying to fight Michael Jackson. You trying to swing on him and everything. And every time you think you really got a good one, you planned it out, you know, the fist is gonna go in his face and I'm swinging with all your might. And then he just doing these dumbass leans. It's gotta be terrifying. Trying to fight Michael Jackson, he got enough cardio to dance for 3 concerts. You know, and he thin too, so he hard to hit, he moving off. You swinging at him, he's saying stuff to you, words that don't make any sense. Tamagotchi. What am I supposed to do? Whispering to you. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, especially if you have a fondness for a person, there's at least rumor that there are these tracks that got scrapped between Michael Jackson and Tupac. They were supposed to be on some songs together, right? So it's not as if they didn't know each other. And now imagine, you know this person. And you don't want to hurt them. They were talking disrespectfully to someone else that you love, and maybe they pushed you first, and now you're fighting, and then, you hit them, and you hit them hard. You hit them real good. Now Tupac bent over and everything. God. Michael Jackson, he didn't even want to say it, but he's like, "Are you okay?" The way I imagine it, Tupac gathered himself and was like, "No, I'm not done. I can't go out like this." And he was written back in, swinging at him and everything. And then Michael Jackson went to kicking. And that, even when Michael Jackson was dancing, he wouldn't kick normal. He was never just like doing a kick. It was always like his leg was gonna come off. The whole kick. And now you stand there, you've been kicked 17 times, you still standing up, got all these footprints on you, like you got run over at a marathon or something. Your friends roll up to you, and now you gotta be like, It was 6 of them. They came out of nowhere. They all had the same shoe on. Oh. This is brutal. You know what I mean? Imagine you fighting somebody you respect, too. You gotta fight one of your heroes. It's unnerving. Beating you up. Fixing his hat for no reason. Because hearing about this fight, hearing about this rumor, reminded me of a different rumor that I heard about Michael Jackson. Something that, I don't know. I mean, it's you can take it or leave it. I don't know. It's something that I believed for a little while because of who was saying it. But basically, Michael Jackson had such a passion for the specific art that he was doing. Not just the music, not just the spectacle, but just the whole thing. So much so that he would let it spill off stage. And all of it became a persona. All of it became a presentation, performance, almost all the time. And one of the ways that it presented itself was not just in how he dressed and how he looked and stuff, but also how he spoke. Because there's an idea that if you can be meek enough, if you could be gentle enough, if you could be soft-spoken enough, that people's perceptions of you will almost pass past you and just see the music. If you're not this big, larger-than-life character, if you're not getting in trouble all the time, maybe if people can just see me as this, like, the same kid that they fell in love with, now just making bigger and better things, maybe they'll love the bigger and better things I have to make, right? And so there's a rumor from a few different people who knew Mike well, who would chill with him, sometimes just out by themselves when there was no risk of being seen by the public. And they said that voice, the voice that we know as Michael Jackson, the voice that's been, imitated over decades, was not his voice. That's what they said, that if you were hanging out with Michael Jackson, you just chilling with him at his time, he actually had a way more like level register than that, which is something that shocked me, because I was like, wow, imagine putting that much into a performance, that it's like off stage and it's everywhere, and it's everyone that you meet, you're shaking hands with people, you're meeting people, and that's still not quite you. You're still putting it on a little bit, right? But now imagine you're fighting Michael Jackson. And not only is he beating your ass, but every once in a while he's like, "Come here, bitch!" Like, that's gotta be maybe the most shocking part. I don't know what I would do. You're fighting Michael Jackson, and he's making 3 different noises at the same time. He got a low one, he got a high one. He's saying weird stuff. Not only do you have to fight Michael Jackson, you gotta fight a possessed version of Michael Jackson, I'm assuming, because you've never heard him talk like this. No. That's one of the funniest images I have in my head, is Michael Jackson punching you in your forehead and they'd be like, "What's up, nigga?" Like, no, what's really hood, dog? What's really... Imagine, hey, you're Tupac. You're getting beat, presumably in front of some people, by Michael Jackson. At a certain point, you got to be like, guys, somebody must have a gun. Shoot this man. Even if you try to shoot him, Michael Jackson probably like catching the bullets. Well, maybe he knocks you down. You laying on the ground. You ever seen somebody get beat? I know I'm digressing to digress, but like this, you ever see somebody get beat up real bad and all of a sudden it's almost like they have a cold or something because they start coughing? Yeah, it's like they get punched a couple times, they're like, and then Michael Jackson rolls you over with his foot, walks around you all disrespectful, just fixing his belt and stuff. He's standing over you. You don't know what's about to happen next. You don't know if he's gonna curb dance you or you're waiting for him. Is Michael Jackson gonna kill me? And then he's looking down at you. Maybe you even try to get up one more time. Maybe you got a little fight left. I can't go out like this. I have Thug Life tattooed on me. Give it all you got. You swinging at Michael Jackson. You kicking at him and stuff. And you got to worry about extra. You got to worry about like extra things with Mike. You got to worry about his kicks, his punches. You also got to worry about his pelvis. He also moving that all weird and stuff. Imagine somebody punching at you and then just. I don't know what to do with that. It's very upsetting. Michael Jackson punches you down to the ground again. You hit the ground. You're like, this is it. He's going to kill me. And he's standing over you, towering over you. When you're waiting for him to hit you with that death blow, he just goes. I don't know. It probably didn't happen, but it's fun to dream. Cool. How y'all doing? Everybody good? Sweet. I was reading this news story from Australia where this woman has finally been charged in connection with the death of 3 people. She's been charged for murder of 3 people who died after they ate lunch at a lunch party she threw. And when they arrested her, she was like, how am I supposed to know what's poison and what's not poison? You know what I mean? Like, it could be anything. Why couldn't the meal be so good that they died? Did anybody think of that? And the more that I read about the story, it was baffling. So it turns out just about everybody at the lunch party were her ex-husband's relatives. So yeah, I think you might have done it. Wow, that's crazy. I know some of y'all out here love staying friends with your exes and stuff, but if I ever have an ex-wife and one day, randomly in July, she's like, how about you and your whole family come and eat a meal I cook while I watch? I'm gonna have to decline all the poisoning. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't care. I don't care what type of apple flavors you make it. You're not killing me, okay? You know. And the only reason the husband's still alive is at the last minute he couldn't make it. So he was also gonna be there, and then he was like, sorry, got held up at work. Then he lived. That feels crazy, you know. They say revenge is a dish best served beef Wellington. And I loved it though, because it was such a weird story. And then imagine your alibi being like, y'all know I can't cook. Like, what is your plan here, man? Y'all ever have that person in your life that's like the dumbest person you know? Like, just top to bottom, you're like, how are you still alive? You know what I mean? You just won't even understand how they function. You know, it's like, you made it this far, and yesterday couldn't have been easier than today. How do you keep racking up days consecutively? I know a dude that, I won't even call him a friend. I know a dude that is the most unsuccessful drug dealer I've ever met in my life. This is absolutely astounding. How do you fail at selling drugs to people who very much want drugs? Like, they would like drugs very much until they meet you. That is crazy. What kind of bad vibes are you putting out that someone on crack is like, you know what? I'll wait. That's insanity. How'd you take the urgency out of drugs? It's truly wild. I've never seen anything like it. He honestly cleaning up the streets. Everybody he tries to sell to don't want it. I'm like, you making the neighborhood safer by the day. You really need to work for the DARE program or the police. Somebody where you can make money by being bad at what you do. It's astounding. I told him, I was like, you need to do something else with your life. This is clearly not your calling, all right? You know, because when you're good at selling drugs, if you're good enough, they'll make movies about you, they'll make TV shows about you. His movie would be 8 minutes. It would be him haggling for the price of meth with somebody and then them being like, you know what, keep it, and then just walking away. I told him, I was like, you need to do something else, and he got all defensive. You know, he was like, you putting it all on me. It's not all me, you know? This dude actually said to me, he's like, can I borrow a couple dollars till I get paid? I'm like, there's no payroll. Like, you sell drugs and you'll be paid. I'm not giving you money, because then you'll literally have to pay me back with drug money. That's insane. Now I'm part of the operation. I don't want to have anything to do with this. He's always so defensive, like, you putting it all on me. It's not all me, okay? It's this economy. I'm like, no, you don't get to say that. No one smoking crack is saving up for a house. It's devastating. I also had, okay. Y'all know what the ick is, right? Okay, in case you don't know what the ick is, in case you don't have TikTok, the ick is when you are infatuated with someone. You really like them, and then they do something. It's usually something innocuous, something that's very particular. And then it just turns you off. You lose that infatuation, and hence the ick. You don't want to be with them anymore. Like if you went on a date with someone, and then on the date, they were eating, and they were like slurping their soup extra hard, and now you don't want to be with a whole person because they use their mouth. You know what I mean? Like, everyone always talks about what their ick is, you know? Or what they don't like, what gave them the ick. But nobody ever talks about being the ick. Have you noticed that? It's like, it's always about what bothers me. It's never people just admitting that they did something. Like, I'll be vulnerable for a second. I've been the ick before. And there's nothing like watching yourself be the ick in the woman's face. It's the saddest, it's genuinely horrible. Because it's like, once again, I'm not a bad person. I'm not doing anything crazy or gross. I'm just, I did whatever I did, and now we both like, oh, yeah. I give you some examples. I used to live in Chicago, right? And when I lived there, I was... my life was not great. I don't know, I was very broke.
I remember I had gone on this date, and the date was fantastic. We had a great time. She even came back to my place. We're sitting on my bed. She's clearly going to spend the night. It's definitely about to happen. But I had work in the morning, so I just wanted to make sure that I had set my alarm for work and that I plugged my phone in so it didn't die, right? But the way that my bed was, the plug for the outlet was slightly behind the bed, okay? So now I'm trying to reach and plug it in, but I'm also trying to maintain this eye contact, this vibe that we have going. So now I'm trying to plug it in, but I'm not looking and I can't find it, right? And so I'm just watching her slowly get more and more disappointed as I'm trying to plug this in, and I can't, and I'm talking my game too. I'm like, I'm about to tear it up, girl. One second, you about to get it. At one point, I think I even said, "Come on!" And it just killed the vibe. It really did, because you just looking at me, and she didn't say it, but you could see on her face, it's like, you're not too good at plugging stuff into sockets. That's not good foreshadowing, you know what I mean? I think let's just watch a movie or something. And I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to get my confidence back up, you know? It took me a while to get my life together. And once I did, once I was more put together and I moved my bed, I put myself back out there. And so I went on a first date with this young lady, and we were gonna go to dinner and a movie. And then on the way to dinner, I pushed a pull door, all right? And like, and there's no quicker way to look like you have an iron deficiency in front of a woman than to push a pull door. Because I had overcommitted, because I'm trying to be a gentleman, right? I'm trying to open the door for her, let her walk in first and everything. So I gave a little push. That we were talking, I gave a little push. I was like, maybe it just needs extra pressure. So I leaned into it a little bit more, and when it wouldn't budge, I was like, maybe I need two hands. And so now so now I'm square with the wall, right? And I'm pushing. And then I had pushed so hard that I started slipping. So I was sliding down as I was pushing. And right when my forehead hit the wall, like hit the door, I saw that in little print it said pull. But who puts pull in fine print? That's crazy. And so I opened the door and she walked in. She was sweet. She tried to ignore it and everything. But then it went to the movie and I pulled a push. And like this one, I didn't pull as long as I had pushed the other one, so it wasn't as embarrassing. But it's just like I really tugged hard. Like I didn't put my foot up on or anything, but I was just like, I tugged hard. Your first date is supposed to be you getting to know a person. You know what I mean? And so now I could tell I gave her the ick because we were having a good time outside of those two situations. But then she was like, in her mind, I think maybe, she was like, he's sweet, but he don't understand doors. And it's like, how do you... And it was embarrassing, but it's like, and I don't know if I should bring it up and address it or if I should just let it go or something, but she saw it both times, like she was waiting to get in. Like, so it's not like something she could just ignore. So now, and I wanted to be like, look, I understand, I got a door in my room. Like, that's... But then she was looking at me after like when we went in the movie, like the rest of the day, she was looking at me like I was slow. And then I was like, I got a door in my room, which does make me sound slow. Like just, I got a door in my room. Like that sounds crazy because it's like, am I talking about a closet or am I talking about the door to my room? And it's just, it was devastating. And I get it. Like, I understand from her perspective, because she doesn't want to be out here dating somebody that she gotta look out for. Like I get close to a door and she gotta be like, it's an innie. Like so I get it. The worst one. Absolute worst one was months later. Okay, so I used to work at a grocery store, right? And I was working one day and I slipped on some Rogue juice. And so it was a spill in the aisle. I slipped on juice and I fell on my hip. And I fell like that. You know when somebody take like an old fall? Like, you know, like that fall where you like, grandpa got one left. Like it was like that level fall because I fell on pure hip. It was like hip bone, right? And so I was all bruised up and hurting and everything, and I was like limping for some of the day. And then as I was healing up, because I didn't have health insurance, so when you don't have health insurance, you like, I think I just live like this now. You know what I mean? Like because by the next day I was healing up, but my hip was clicking, right? And so it would click whenever I would walk, and when I would sit down, that was 3 clicks right there. And so it was clicking nonstop. And I didn't have health insurance, so I was like, I think I'll just click now. I think that's just a part of who I am as a person. And so fast forward a couple days later, I'm still hurt, I'm still clicking and everything, but I've been seeing someone. And this was going to be the first time that we hooked up, and so we're about to have sex, and we start having sex, and I'd gotten so used to the clicks that I wasn't really thinking about them anymore, right? And I had been healing up, so I was like, maybe I don't even click like that. But then we started, and I didn't realize I click on the in and the out. Like I'm clicking nonstop, and it's loud too. It's so loud because I didn't put on any music, so there's no Miguel, there's no R&B to hide behind. It's just the clicks is all you can hear in the room. And I left my bathroom door open, so now I'm getting click echo from because it'll click in the room and click in the bathroom, and there's a click back, right? And I'm trying to put in work, so I'm sounding like a horse on cobble. Like I'm like truly nonstop because I'm really trying. I'm trying to make a good impression. This is our first time hooking up, so I'm like nonstop. And so then she trying to act like she don't hear. She trying to be polite and everything. She's like, ooh, okay, but she can clearly hear it, you know. And then I'm getting self-conscious, so now I start clicking off rhythm, you know. It's like, which is just making it worse because it's like it's already bad that you clicking, but if you clicking on the 1 and the 3, everybody knows that this is bad. Now, you know what I mean? And so then I was like, she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. How you doing? How's it for you? And she was like, we should talk. And I was like, all right, that's never good. And then we sat down. She's like, are you like okay? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I just fell. It was some Rogue juice in the aisle, and I fell. And then she was like, well, how about we try me on top? And so we did. And then that did not help at all because now it was just, it was louder clicks because there was more pressure, right? So now it was like, it felt like it was her clicks, you know what I mean? Like now she sounded like a full Paul Revere, right? Like, because she was riding me, but she's also like nonstop. And it was devastating. It was so bad. And that's the only person that's ever ghosted me where I was like, I understand. I get it. I think I even texted her afterwards, like, hey, I understand. Like a month after she stopped hearing my text message, I just texted her one last time, like, I understand. Like, it's horrible. I don't know if y'all saw the news, but the orcas are at it again. Orcas, if you haven't seen it, the orcas, killer whales, are out here sinking yachts. They just ramming the yachts until they sink and everything. And who would have thought that the orcas would be the ones to step up? Like, yeah, I mean, like, rich people just be rich in our faces all the time on land. And then they went into the water, and the orcas were like, not my hood, dog. Like, Crazy. I wish orcas had thumbs so bad, just because I would just want them to throw up gang signs with their fins. All day. The most recent one is this yacht that was going through the Strait of Gibraltar, and these orcas attacked it for 45 minutes, which must be terrifying, because like I would hate to get killed by an orca, because it's like their echolocation, the noises that they make are so close to dolphins. Like just imagine you being murdered in the water and all you hear is like, ah! Gang, gang. This is terrible. Tearing you up. It's horrific. You know? But they rammed the boat for 45 minutes and then finally it started to sink. Now, I was reading more about the story. It turns out there was no rich guy on that yacht. That yacht was just like in transit. So then when it capsized, the crew was who was in danger. But the orcas didn't attack any of the crew. Crew made it out safe, which does make me think even more that this is a money thing. Like this is, it's gotta be. You had plenty of people right there to chop up and dice on and nibble up, and you didn't. And I'd like to think that like an orca nibbled maybe one of them and was like, "Oh, that tastes like work." I need supple. That workman meat too tough. You know what I mean? But y'all been amazing. Thank you so much.